Everyone, Real with Wes, day 3, talking about experiencing comfort. Just going to jump right in this. Of course, as always, man, we had a virtual service. World Changers Church, College Park did this morning, 10 a.m. and then 7 p.m. Stay full of the Word of God. Keep getting fed. Keep getting things put in your heart. But I want to talk about experiencing comfort again today. Another measure of that. We're just coming out of Psalms 23. There's many scriptures that you could go to about this that bring encouragement, that bring strength in you, that put you in remembrance. And ultimately, that's what we do. We put ourselves in remembrance of what God has done here. But experiencing comfort, the next one was verse 4. It talks about, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil because you are with me. Your rod and your staff comfort me. The one thing you can live in comfort and at ease. That's really what I'm promoting this week, was how to live it a little more at ease on the inside. This comfort is talking about living inside of peace and not waiting for our circumstances around us to line up for us to experience that comfort, experience that ease. Because we're always going to be exposed to something. We're always going to be exposed or look and be able to see some form of darkness going on earth. But what we should not allow it to do is hijack our lives and ruin us to enjoy life and experience life. It's easy to do when we get our finances going crazy. It's easy to experience where we become uncomfortable. And I'm not talking about like pressure coming on you, things like that. That's going to happen. But I'm really talking about still living in that place of ease, where we can resist being stressed out all the time. Because I'm trying to get people in this mentality where simultaneously there's a constant darkness and suffering and issues going on and problems and troubles going on, and we should do our part as to alleviate that, to end people's suffering is what that is, and to be that comfort and to be that aid. But at the same time, we shouldn't be in this place of where we're so consumed by it we forget that God's goodness is still operating in our life on a day-to-day, and that our life isn't as bad sometimes as we think it is. And there's different levels. There's going to be people under that says, Pastor, what's this easy for you to say? And for some people, it is easier for me to say. That is the honest. I remind people this analogy I saw. It's not new. Was where people say we're all in the same boat, and the truth is we're really not. We may all be in the same storm, but we're in different types of boats, having different type of experiences in the same storm many of times, which is called life. And we can say that about the pandemic. Everybody's had a different experience with that. Some has been better than others. Some has been worse than others. But with all that, God is still involved in everything of your life, trying to bring comfort, trying to bring ease. And so when we talk about that, man, you're going through a situation, don't forget God's with you. Why is that so important? And I want to be careful, because it can just be, well, God's with me. No, God's for you in the situation. That means God is working for you. And there's this idea when he's with you, when he's not with you. It just clearly says he's with you unconditionally, with no discrimination. And he's with everybody. It's more waking up to that. That's the thing. In the midst of that darkness, what that darkness wants to do is make you blind to the fact that God's not with you and God's not for you. That God may be in some way ticked off at you. God may be some way not going to supply aid to you. That God in some way won't protect you. And that's where it talks about the rod and your staff comfort me. That means you put a safeguard around me, is what it does. And I can live in this constant knowing and this constant blessing that unconditionally God has got his arms around me. And you know what? I can sit back even though when I'm facing a stressful situation, when you remind yourself that, it brings faith up. It brings a response of faith. It brings a response of ease. It brings a response of confidence in the face of every situation, knowing you can go through a dark situation, a tough season in life, and still experience comfort, still experience goodness. And that's why I said people sometimes, and I'm challenging myself that I'm waiting for everything to kind of line up to finally enjoy life and realize life is slipping away, and that you will never enjoy life if you keep waiting for it to happen. And realizing, no, the mature thing is I start realizing with my faith as a Christian, my understanding of God is that I can enjoy life now. It's my choice to enjoy life now. Why? Because God is with me. And God is constantly providing forms of enjoyment if I'm looking for it, if I'm expecting it. And I don't have to wait for all my circumstances, natural things to line up. Yeah, there's things going on even today in my life that are like, God, I wish that would get off my mind. But there's also wonderful things going on in my life all today, and I don't want to be separated from it. Where, yes, I'm doing what I got to do and being responsible and believing God for the things that I've got to deal with, but I'm also taking advantage of the opportunities to enjoy things that God has been so wonderful and good to provide, and that's what I encourage you to do. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. We'll come back tomorrow, and that'll be day 4, Thursday. But, man, enjoy the comfort of knowing God's with you and God's for you. All right, guys, later.